Hello, I'm Cherry. Welcome back to this series where we go over video game music producers and talk about how they make music. We have a name now for this. After a few people I know brainstorm names, we landed on cherry picking. Yeah, because like I'm Cherry, or we're going into detail about stuff. Whatever, it's unimportant. Anyways, if you're new here, we're going to talk about a video game music producer, taking a look at what games they've produced for, analyzing their style, and then emulating that style. Warning, there will be spoilers to the games mentioned. Today we're going over a viewer-submitted producer. Karma110 asked in the comments of the previous video if I could do Yames, another indie developer and producer. They also made music prior to their games, so this will be fun. Today we're going to talk about Water Womb World and Growing My Grandpa. I want to mention before explaining that these games have elements of body horror and are at the very least creepy. I don't know how y'all are with horror games, but I am awful, so they freak me out. Water Womb World, you play as a religious scientist trying to find a larger connection between science and God to prove his existence and help people refine that path. I think at least, we'll get into it, I don't fully know. Growing My Grandpa is a, quote, narrative-driven point-and-click horror game with virtual pet elements, end quote, where a little girl, quote, grows her, quote, grandpa, a lot of quotes here. It's very confusing. We'll get into it. Trust me. So unlike my last video on Mike Klubnika, which you should totally watch by the way, there's a lot of music to go through, and so I'm going to choose some key songs to talk about for each game. With Water Womb World, you heard my description, but let's talk about that. You play as a scientist in a submersible lab trying to find archaeological evidence of ancient humans near the creation of life in an area called Gasper's Zone, to seemingly prove the existence of God and find where people strayed from his true path. Now we kind of have to talk about this, but I can't tell the game's opinion on religion. I know this is technically a video essay, but this is not my territory to speak on. From what I can tell, this game is trying to talk about religious fanatics? I don't really know. Games, if you're seeing this, please explain. I found this great thread on Reddit that brings up some theories about the game by SuperGeek110. Love 110 in this video. Now we're going to go over 3 songs. The first plays while you're just resting in your submersible. This is aptly titled Lab, and is very soft, bordering on inaudible at times. It's just some pads with noise and sine waves, seemingly. Sometimes the volume of them swells. I can't even really tell if there's any changes in the chords. It seems to just be drenched in reverb and the slight vibrato. Next we have Angel, which plays when you're talking to what your character assumes to be an angel. This track has a lot of delay and reverb with vibrato on it to make it even more dissociative, very similar to the Lobotomy by Maybe in a way which I referenced in my video on my top songs, which you should also totally watch. Finally, for Water Womb World, we have God's Love, which flat out was just wind, just a noise pad with some reverb and delay and some occasional more intense bursts of sound. These 3 songs make up some key points about the game's sound. Lots of noise, lots of reverb, lots of delay, some vibrato, no percussion. This trend will continue a bit throughout Growing My Grandpa as well, but with more variation. Very atmospheric and creepy, but we love ambient music around here, so Yames is doing great. Growing My Grandpa is a body horror point-and-click game about seemingly an experiment gone awry that now a little girl is playing with and growing to become her quote-unquote grandpa. I'm gonna be honest, I didn't even buy this game. I watched Markiplier play it because I thought I'd be too freaked out, so I'm not gonna explain much of anything well or good by any means. You should play it yourself or watch someone play it. It's incredible. I'm just a coward. Anyway, the game has 18 tracks plus a few unused ones, but we're going to go through 4 that I feel are imperative of Yames' style. The first track we're going to talk about is Enclosure, which plays when you're in the same room as Grandpa. This song is very pulsing with vibrato, reverb, and delay alongside some of those signature swells. Noise and sine wave pads making this a key Yames classic. The next track is called Shh, and I don't know where it plays exactly, and I keep procrastinating on this video, so I will not be figuring out where it is, but if anyone in the comments knows and would like to point out, please do. The song has vibrato, reverb, delay, just like the last one, but also has a lot more tremolo, alongside volume swells, just like the last one. It also adds some nice metal hits throughout, which is interesting, and just nice noise and sine wave pads to round it all out. Like I don't know exactly where Freak plays, but it also has the whole lot when it comes to sound. Granted, what's interesting is the melody or chords or something playing faintly in the background, which is very unique, but hard for me to hear. Apt in its location. Speaking with Grandpa plays when you're speaking with Grandpa, and also gives us a lot more to work with. The gang's all here in terms of sound, but it has a melody and is comparable to the lobotomy once again. This rounds out our track list for how we want to emulate Yames' style. If I'm being honest, I don't really like this track. Yames is great, but in my opinion, ambient music is your own thing. Everyone has their own style, you know, so I don't really like this one too much because it's samey. I did what I could and I like it a little, but it's nowhere near my best work. This isn't an indictment on Yames or their music. I'm just not good at emulating this, so it's mediocre. Anyways, made it nice and ambient with this airy delay and reverb. Gave some fun little blips around so it's more interesting, gave it a simple melody. Again, not my best, but it's Games Core. TM. Hope you like it. Hope y'all enjoyed. This video was kind of hard to make because I had to pivot from my original plan because a friend of mine couldn't get footage for another game, but rest assured that will be releasing at some point. Again, thank you to Karma110 for their recommendation. If you want to see a specific producer's music in one of these, let me know in the comments. Also, call to action time, like and subscribe. Yeah, be chill, eat your teeth.